Good afternoon and welcome to the 2017 Cox Inspirational Student Hero Awards for Okaloosa County. My name is David Delleman. I'm the Market Vice President for Cox Communications here in the Gulf Coast, and I wanted to extend a warm welcome to each of you here today. Thank you for coming out, and as we celebrate the amazing accomplishments of these students. You know, sometimes the word hero gets thrown around pretty lightly. I can assure you that is not the case today. Each of the 31 students being honored this afternoon is an inspiration to those around them. Cox is thrilled to have the honor to help shine a spotlight on each one of these heroes. This program started 25 years ago in our New Orleans market. Today, we honor heroes across the Southeast. To date, Cox has recognized more than 3,500 student heroes from Lafayette, Louisiana to Macon, Georgia. This afternoon, we add 31 new names to that distinguished list. These students have overcome incredible obstacles in their lives to be recognized by their schools and their peers as heroes. I think you'll enjoy hearing their stories. Some will make you laugh, others may make you cry. Regardless, if you're anything like me, you'll leave here today humbled by their drive to succeed. At this time, I'd like to turn the program over to Cam Johnson from Cox's Government and Public Affairs Department.
Thank you very much and welcome. This event would not be possible, of course, without the support of the Okaloosa County School District and all of the schools represented here. So I would like to ask Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, Marcus Chambers, to come to the podium and share a few words.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcus Chambers, and I feel blessed to be here today. Mrs. Jackson, when she asked me to come here, it was something that made me feel very proud to be at an event like this. So just wanted to let you know, from the bottom of my heart, I feel very blessed to be here. And I want to congratulate the students who are here today. And one of the things I want to say to the students who are here today is this is a significant achievement in your life. And for the parents who are here, to the school officials who are here, I know that they're here to support each and every one of the students. But for the students, once again, a very significant moment in your life. And I hope today, when this is over, when you kind of think and reflect back, that you'll kind of say to yourself, wow, I'm proud of myself. And for the students who are here, if you look around the room and you see how many people are here today who are supporting you, can't tell you, I know that your parents are very proud of you. I know that your principals, your teachers, your guidance counselors are very proud of you. And you think there's about 100 or so folks here today to support each and every one of you. One of the things that's interesting, when receiving this award here today, you're being recognized for overcoming obstacles. And those obstacles might be physical, they could be academic, they could have been behavioral, they could have been illness. But you are someone who, once again, who you're here today, and you're receiving this award because you're an inspiration. And you're an inspiration to your students, your fellow students. You're an inspiration to your teachers, to your guidance counselors, to your principals. And once again, I think when everybody today here hears some of the stories, you will have inspired not only the individuals at your school, but you will have inspired the individuals who are here today. And I think that is something that, once again, you should be very proud of. And to the parents who are here, you know the obstacles that your student has gone through, and you've been there with them. You've cried with them, and you know exactly what they've gone through to be here today to be recognized. And to the teachers, the guidance counselors, the principals who are here today, you took the time to care. You took the time to see the growth in the students, and you took the time to recognize them. And this is something that I know that you're extremely proud of as well. And some of you may know that this is a process that the schools go through. And I'll say to the students again, this is a process. There are many students who are recommended, but you were the one who was chosen by your school to be the Cox Inspirational Student Hero. And that's something that I hope that you'll cherish as well. So just once again, on behalf of Mrs. Jackson, our Superintendent of Schools, just want to thank everybody for being here today. And to the students, most importantly, can't share with you just how proud that I am, how proud Mrs. Jackson is, and I'm sure everyone will go ahead and join me right now in just congratulating each and every one of these students.
Thank you very much. As you've heard, this is a great event, and it is one of our favorite events at Cox. We look forward to this event every year. While all of these students may not be valedictorians or all-star sports athletes or anything like that, the recognition that they will receive today is as deserving. So let's get on with the awards. Each student will be called to the podium with their presenter. On the back of the name tag that the hero received has a number written on it. That is the order in which we will call up the students. In just a second, I'm going to ask numbers 1 through 10 to line up on the left side of the room, on my right side, and we'll bring them up that way. The student will come up with the presenter. The student would please stand on the left side of the podium. The presenter will make their comments. Please remember to keep your comments brief. We do have a lot of students to recognize here today. After the presenter is done making the comments, they will then step over to the between the flowers here, where we have David Delliman, whom of course you just met, and Kristen Longley with our Public Affairs Department. We'll give them a medallion, a certificate from Cox, a certificate of recognition from Congressman Matt Gaetz, and a certificate of recommendation from State Representative Mel Ponder. They'll then get their picture taken, and if they could wait while their picture is printed out, they will actually have their picture in time when they sit down to take with you. As I said, we're going to start with numbers 1 through 10. So if numbers 1 through 10 would please go ahead and make their way with their presenter to the left side of the room here. We'll get you guys lined up. As I said, we do have a lot of people to recognize today, so please keep your comments brief, and I will apologize in advance if I mispronounce your name, which I'm sure I will do several times today. At the end of the presentations, if all the students could please stay until the end, we'd like to get a group picture as we conclude with today's event. So if we have number 1 ready. Okay. So our first hero is Joshua Brooks Hornsby, and he will be presented by Holly Eubanks of Antioch Elementary School.
I am so honored to introduce Joshua Brooks Hornsby as Antioch's Cox Hero Award winner. I had Joshua last year in 3rd grade, and he really struggled with everything he did in 3rd grade last year. We went through lots of tears last year. He struggled with everything, but his big thing that he has going for him is he never gave up. Absolutely did not ever quit anything he did. He tried his hardest, and he worked and worked and worked, and I am pleased to say that this year he has put himself onto the All-A honor roll more than once this school year. He said the first 9 weeks he had A-B honor roll, second and third 9 weeks he's had All-A honor roll. So I cannot be more proud of the growth he has made, and very proud of our Antioch winner.
Baker School's Dylan Martin is a hero, and Beth Gohagan will tell us why.
I'm very proud to be here representing Baker today to introduce to you Dylan Martin. Dylan came to Baker when he was in the 6th grade, and many of you know Baker's a K-12 school, so I've been his guidance counselor since 6th grade. When he came to Baker in the 6th grade, he spent more time with me, I think, sometimes than in the classroom, and that kind of continued and through high school, even the early part of high school. And then Dylan, we kept working with him, and he just started focusing and changing his energy into positive energy and decided he was going to set a goal for himself. So his 11th and 12th grade year, no referrals. He took the ASVAB in the 11th grade, made almost a perfect score on the ASVAB. Dylan has decided to join the Navy, and he has been accepted into their nuclear program, which is a very hard program to get into. So we are very proud. He is an inspiration to the students at Baker. He's very active in our junior ROTC program, and everyone at Baker wishes him the best of luck. We love Dylan, and we're going to hear wonderful things about him in the future. Thank you.
Our next hero is Dawson Garcia of Blue Water Elementary School, and he will be accompanied by Amy Clue.
If we know anything about the Cox Hero Award, it is for students who have persevered and stood against the odds, all the while inspiring others. For Blue Water, that person is Dawson Garcia. I am lucky enough to have known Dawson since he was in kindergarten. I started out as his assistant principal, and I've been able to watch him progress all the way through elementary school. So since kindergarten, we have watched Dawson persevere every day. When summer came, for most kids it was a happy thing, but for Dawson, it meant forgetting a few things that he had learned from the year before. But no one would know that because his positive attitude and can-do spirit carried him through every day and every grade. When I asked Dawson's teachers, what makes Dawson so great? They said, he has a positive attitude, he always tries hard, he's kind. Miss Santiago said this one, are you ready? He's always looking for ways to use strategies. Even in science, he's using his reading strategies. He tries his best even when it's a challenge. He wants to be sure that what he's doing is good and that it's enough. He makes good connections and he has a good sense of humor. This year, Dawson tested out of many skills on our iReady program, and he passed more reading lessons than any other fifth grader. All in all, he showed 2 years' growth in just 1 school year. Dawson, I hope this award shows you how much we appreciate you, your mom, all of your hard work, and that you never lose your positive attitude and can-do spirit.
Presenting our next hero, Israel Brown of Bob Sykes Elementary School, is Natasha Shears.
Hello, my name is Natasha Shears. I'm a second grade teacher at Bob Sykes Elementary, and I'm here to present to you Israel Brown. Israel was originally in my second grade class at the beginning of the 2016-2017 school year. I guess it was about late September. Israel was absent for about 3 or 4 days. So I called home, and Mom, Mrs. Brown, told me that what doctors had originally thought to be an enlarged spleen was actually kidney cancer. Throughout her treatment, I've been homeschooling her. I've been her homebound teacher, and she's done exceptionally well. The whole school year, she's kept A's in all of her core subjects. She's always had a positive attitude. She looks forward to seeing me every day. She's always got a smile on her face. She loves telling me stories and jokes and singing and dancing, and she has just truly been an inspiration to me. Because of her astounding results and her inspirational affairs, she was actually awarded the Whiting Naval Air Station's Pilot for a Day, and she is the current spokesperson for Pensacola's Ronald McDonald House, where she is featured on the Mother's Day card for any mother who has donated to the Ronald McDonald House. Israel's family and her healthcare professionals have expressed how Israel has motivated them, and I'd like to do the same. Personally and professionally, this school year has been one of the most challenging in my life, and I can only say that it was God's doing to bring Israel into my life. I've learned to focus on the positive, the health and the family and the love that I've been blessed to have, because things can always be worse. She is such a sweet, kind, loving, happy, caring little girl, and she will forever hold a special piece of my heart.
Next to the podium is Bruner's Jessica Ford and her principal, Cynthia Hudson.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's with great pleasure that I'm here to celebrate Jessica today. Jessica inspires through her ability to overcome obstacles which were in her path. She is a highly motivated student who has chosen to not let perceived limitations hinder her progress. Jessica makes a concerted effort to always strive to be the best and not allow anything or anyone to limit her. Jessica has an amazingly positive attitude. She attacks every situation with vigor and does not allow anything to stop her. Jessica's perseverance and dedication to her academic, social, and emotional success is evident by her capacity to shine through her humbleness. Jessica's personal successes include improved academic performance on the FSA, but also in her coursework, in her classes. And Jessica has experienced extracurricular success in cheerleading, and she was the very first runner-up in the Miss Max Bruner competition. Through hard work, a can-do attitude, and parents that support her, Jessica has grown academically, socially, and emotionally since arriving at Max Bruner Junior Middle School. And with that, I would like to say congratulations for a job well done, Jessica. You're welcome.
Now, Cheryl Murphy, teacher at Choctawhatchee High School, will present our next hero, Jaden Cooke.
I think Oprah Winfrey said it best when she said, everyone has a story. And I love presentations like this because we get to hear so many. And that's one of the blessings of being a teacher, especially in Okaloosa County. So I want to talk today, though, about Jaden Cooke. Jaden has been one of my students for the last 3 years. She experienced in 2015 a different kind of trauma in her life where she lost a niece to child abuse. And during that time, of course, it's very stressful, and there are lots of things to overcome with that through the family and through school, but Jaden never lost her positive attitude. She maintained it. She is the type child that every teacher loves to have in her class. She's so positive. I have her in a dance class. She made it a point to make sure that she danced with every single person in that class at some point in time. And she's that type person. She's also involved in our Link Crew, which is our leadership program at Choctawhatchee. She is just one of those kids that I have been blessed to know, and that I feel like I am a better person along with all of her peers at Choctaw by being around her. So she is my hero.
Our next hero is Matthew Arnold of Crestview High School, and he will be joined by Dexter Day.
Thank you. I'm proud to present Matt Arnold as Crestview High School's Cox Inspirational Hero. Matt is my hero. I see him in the hallways every day, and we interact. He's always got a great smile on his face, and he excels at Crestview High. He just doesn't survive at Crestview High. He excels at Crestview High, and after you hear what I have to say, you'll know what I'm talking about. Matt is involved in multiple extracurricular activities and is an exceptional student leader. He spearheaded an anti-bullying campaign at Crestview High School with a large portion of the student body. Matt is involved in the Student Government Association and our Key Club and held offices in both organizations. He's also been a member of the Academic and the Odyssey of the Mind teams. Currently a member of our Bulldog Pack, which is our leadership program at Crestview High School. Matt participates in many community service projects. He has a passion for running and was very excited to coach our Special Olympics team for Crestview High School this year. He upholds a high-level extracurricular activities. Matt is in multiple AP courses and excels in those AP courses with a 3.55 GPA. So today, Matt Arnold is my inspirational hero and representing Crestview High School, Matt Arnold.
Presenting Davidson Middle School's hero, Joseph Traver, is Melissa Franklin.
I always tell my kids not to be scared to talk in front of the class. This is a little bit bigger than my classroom, I'm just going to say. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests. In 13 years of teaching, you learn to develop a sixth sense about things. As educators, we develop relationships with our students in which we learn of the challenges and obstacles that they face on a daily basis. However, there are times when you never truly know or understand what a student has encountered in their life. You learn to give students space, grace, and sometimes food to help them be successful in your class. And after 13 years of doing this, I thought my sixth sense was pretty good. It turns out I'm not nearly as good as I thought, and I couldn't be more thankful or blessed for the person who taught me that lesson. Joey, as he likes to be called, is a truly unique individual in a sea of unique individuals. Joey has taught me firsthand that even teachers don't always know what sorts of things are happening in their students' lives. Joey is an amazing student who comes to school every day with a drive to do well and learn more in his journey to become something more than just a statistic. You see, Joey is among the hundreds of thousands of children who are put into the foster care system every year due to circumstances beyond their control. But the amazing thing is that if you didn't know, you would have no idea. I will never forget the first email his mom, Sarah, sent me. It was to let me know that Joey did not like being called Mr. Weeks. That was his dad's last name, and it bothered him a great deal. Sarah then went on to explain to me that herself and her husband were Joey's foster parents, and they took him and his siblings in when they were placed in foster care. But there again, if you didn't know, you never would have known. Kevin and Sarah have since adopted Joey and his siblings and created a bond that is stronger than even steel for this family, and they do it every day with love and accountability. Joey doesn't complain about the life he has had. He doesn't even try to use it as a way to get out of homework or to just do nothing when he is having a bad day. He just keeps going and going, kind of like the Energizer Bunny. Joey has chosen to be a survivor. He has chosen to have dreams and goals that he works for day in and day out. Along with the help of his mom and dad and siblings, Joey lives a life of love and happiness, not bitterness and hate. At the ripe old age of 14, Joey has learned to do what takes most people a lifetime. He has learned to let go of the past and build his own future, not only for himself, but for his siblings as well. I can't think of a better inspirational story than that. So it is with great pleasure, and on behalf of Mr. J. Sanders, principal, Mr. Greg Brock, and Ms. Lauren Seegers, assistant principals, the students, faculty, and staff, that I present the 2017 Cox Inspirational Award winner for Davidson Middle School, Joseph Traver.
If I could please go ahead and have numbers 11 through 20. Go ahead and start making your way to the left side of the room with your presenter, numbers 11 through 20. And our next hero is Gia Taleo of Destin Elementary School. She will be presented by Lisa Brown and Ann Helton.
As a teacher, can you hear me? Is that right? As a teacher, I feel like it's my responsibility to inspire my students. But this year, the role was reversed. I've had the blessing and complete joy of teaching Gia Taleo. Gia was born with optic nerve hypoplasia. She has no vision in her left eye and very little in her right. Along with this, she also faces many other health-related issues daily, but you wouldn't know it. Gia not only completes class assignments and reads the same materials as the other students, but she completes the assignments in Braille as well. Not once have I ever heard a complaint or seen Gia with anything but a smile on her face. She is loved by the adults and students of the school alike. And although many people would consider her lack of vision a limitation, Gia stands out as a true inspiration. The first week of school, Gia told me that she wants to be a teacher when she grows up, and she's going to be a great teacher. She has a huge heart filled with compassion and understanding. Gia loves to learn and sees no boundaries. With her unfailingly upbeat and positive spirit, Gia shows others that physical limitations are not barriers to learning or caring for others. Gia is a true representation of a hero, and I feel honored to be her teacher.
Our next hero is Shamil Abstract of Destin Middle School, and he will be presented by Grant Meyer.
Good afternoon. It's my honor to present Shamil Abstract, and it did take me all year to pronounce that last name, so good job. Shamil spoke no English 3 years ago. That last name is Russian, and in 3 years he has come so far where now he's making A's and B's with very limited help in those classrooms, those resources. He's doing it on its own. And when we were choosing our Cox Award winner, without a doubt, Shamil's name kept coming up by all of his teachers. Things like hard worker, polite, a silent leader. Doesn't say much, but he leads by example. Even his bus driver stopped me and said, "Shamil is such a leader on the bus." I asked if he wanted to speak today. No, okay. That's usually what I get, a yes or no. But he is a bright young man, and Cam, I know you said that these guys might not be valedictorians and athletes, but Shamil can do that. And actually, one last story, he did go through spring football practice last year, but was not able to continue to play in the fall because he worked with his mother all summer to help support her. So that's the type of person he is. He's got great character, and it's my honor to award Shamil with the Cox Hero Award. And congratulations to all the award winners. Thank you.
Edwin's Elementary School's hero, Tamir Jordan, will be introduced by her teacher, Gay Parnell.
It is absolutely my honor to be able to introduce Tamir Jordan. Tamir came to us from Germany in December of last year, and she wasn't in my class last year, but she had been tested in first grade in Germany, and they put her on what we know as special standards. From first grade on, last year she struggled in the regular gen ed classroom, so we put her partly into ESE classroom in small groups and partly into gen ed. She came into my room this year, and I saw something in Tamir. I knew that there was more than what everybody else saw. Last year and the beginning of this year, she refused to read a book, not one book. Now, how many points do you have, Tamir?
Okay, I have 170.
170 AR points. 170. Not on a second grade level where she started, not on a third grade level, but a fourth grade level, which is what she is now. And she can read fifth grade books, and we're talking volumes. We're talking thick chapter books this child can read. I cannot just let reading be one of the things that happened because she has been in tears a little bit with math this year. She was on a second grade level. She is now at a fourth grade level. She was not multiplying at the beginning of the year, and now she asks if she can do division for fun. For fun. We have chalkboard art and chalkboard chalk, and she goes out there. I mean, she can do it on paper too. She just says it's fun. But before that, she was in tears, and I was almost in tears. And when the day came that she said, can she do long division, hard things, not easy division, hard division for fun, that was my reward right there. She asked me if she could teach a social studies lesson for our younger kids in our classroom. And I said, sure you can. And she gave it the all-college try. I thought she did very well, but she came up to me and she said, Miss Parnell, how do you do it? I don't have the patience for these kids. But she really did, and she was an excellent teacher. Like all young girls, Tamir can have drama. Last year, there was a lot of drama going on because with social skills, you have to fine-tune those social skills to get the drama down to a fine art. And that's exactly what happened with this girl. She channeled her drama into a positive way, so she is on stage at the Lion King performance at Fort Walton Beach as one of the lead roles there. And that just tells you this determination with this child. She now sees in herself what I saw with her at the beginning of this year. Now she tells other students, if I can do it, you can do it. Tamir.
Eglin Elementary School's Vanessa Harrington is next to introduce us to their hero, David Witcher Jr.
At the beginning of this school year, David Witcher had just PCS'd from a base in North Carolina with his military family, which consisted of his mother, his father, and himself. Much like any third grader, David started the year as a funny and charismatic and selectively engaged student. He was very concerned about his grades, though, and he would have me explain to him any answers that I would mark incorrect on any of his assignments. If he was satisfied with my explanation, he would offer me a story with no plot, or a joke with no punchline. If he disagreed with my explanation, he would smirk and look at me as if to think, she don't know what she's doing. But I'm gonna let that slide. At the end of the first 9 weeks, he refused to offer me my daily dose of pointless story and jokeless joke because I had given him a C on social studies assignment, and that messed up his AB honor roll goal. Well, his strike lasted maybe a day, and then he vowed or warned me that he's gonna be on the AB honor roll next 9 weeks. But then November 3rd came. November 3rd came just like any other day. I'd spent the morning messaging David's mom about how 3rd grade math is indeed comparable to rocket science, for those of you who did not know. We talked back and forth on Class Dojo, and it was very jovial, but soon, by lunchtime, that jovial conversation turned. She messaged me back and said, David's going to be out of school for a couple of days. Later on that day, I found out why. David's dad, Staff Sergeant David Witcher Sr. of the 7th Special Forces, had died in a training accident while on duty. It would be more than a couple of days before we'd see Junior again. David and his mom left for their home in North Carolina to be surrounded by family, of course, and to lay their hero to rest. Since they were nearly 1,400 miles away, we didn't expect to see David anymore. But to our surprise, on January 3rd, right after we returned from the winter break, our class had a visitor, a knock at the door, and I went and opened it, and there stood David and his mom. She said, we're only here for a little while just to retrieve some things, but David wanted to stop by and say hello. The class and I were completely excited to see him, and they all got up to greet him, but I couldn't help notice that there was something different. He was disheveled, nervous, pale, frail, and very solemn, and he didn't say much. He just held his head down and fidgeted with his fingers. Upon his mother's request, he gave me a loose hug and then backed away. His friends tried to talk to him, but he barely smiled. His mother became very emotional as she explained to me that this had become his new disposition. At his new school in North Carolina, he had been suffering academically, socially, and emotionally. She explained that sometimes he would just walk out of class and had given up. I asked Mom if he could have lunch with us that day and even maybe stay for recess. And she obliged, and then I asked her if he can come back the next day and maybe the next and the next. And he did. With each day, David opened up a little more. He began to laugh and share funny stories about his dad. And then he offered me a joke with no punchline. And he never cried. Mom decided to re-enroll him at Eglin Elementary. She said, I know I'm 1,400 miles from family, from friends. I don't know where we're going to stay, and I don't have a job here, but he needs to be here. He needs to be with you. He needs to be with his friends, because since he has been here, I have my David back. Although David enjoyed being back with his classmates, he was initially disinterested in completing any work. I tiptoed around the issue because of the sensitive nature that brought him back into our lives. But then I quickly realized that if David was going to be himself, then I too had to be myself. And I was. And then he was. Now David's working hard to complete each and every task, and he often checks up with me to inquire about his progress. And if that's not enough, he attempts to motivate me every day, leaving Post-it notes on my desk that say, "Best teacher ever," and brings me chocolate, which is the real reason we're here. David has been an inspiring role model for surviving through tragedy. In class, you'll find him offering to help his peers with their work despite his increasingly great workload, and he gets it done. During recess, you'll see him running around, smiling ear to ear and tossing himself into the soft sand and just laughing hysterically. So I'm honored and proud to be able to present the Cox Hero Award on behalf of Eglin Elementary School and our principal, Dennis Samack, our vice principal, Katie Gunderson, David Witcher Jr.
Presenting our next hero, Micah Arnett of Elliott Point Elementary School, is Kathy Yard.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Micah Arnett. When I became an administrator at Elliott Point, Micah and I became friends really quickly. To say he was a frequent flyer in the office is not even close. Micah made his presence known when he came into school most mornings because the look on his face, he was angry. He was not kind to his friends. It was a type of a student that would get overwhelmed and shut down, and very often you would go get him out of class and we would unwrinkle his papers together and put tape where the pencil had gone through. Something changed in Micah after third grade, and Micah decided to turn himself around. That is why we're here today. Micah is now a fifth grader at Elliott Point, and not only is he a role model for other students, he has become the type of student that every teacher wants to have. Micah is on our safety patrol. He has fantastic grades, and the other students in his classroom look up to him. The day I got to go tell him in his classroom that he had been chosen, he had no clue I was talking about him. Not a clue. He had no shoes on, different colored socks that day. If we had a full-length picture, you would see, I think it was green and pink. And as I talked to the class about a very special honor, they just cheered. They gave him a standing ovation that it was Micah, because they did not know that Micah had overcome these things. They just saw Micah as one of the best kids in their class and one of the kids to look up to and a role model. The name Micah means humble, and Micah is a very humble student. I see him every morning and we say good morning to each other. You would never know that Micah overcame those obstacles. At his home, he's the man of the house. He's got a young brother who has struggled with behavior, but now Micah's a role model for him, and his brother's behavior has improved greatly too. The name Micah also means someone that has an inner leadership and the desire to help others. And Micah has grown into his name. Little did we know that when his mom picked that name out, he would grow into be such a leader. So very happy to present Mr. Micah Arnett.
Our next hero is McKinley Jones of Florosa Elementary School, and he will be presented by Rhonda Huggins.
Good afternoon. I'm a second grade teacher, and when McKinley came to my classroom, the first year it was a struggle. He had some severe meltdowns, and he would look at me like, "Are you crazy, lady? You want me to do that?" We had some struggles. I would talk with his mom and his dad and the counselor and the assistant principal and the principal, and we would go back and forth and try to figure out what strategies we needed to help McKinley get through his academics. And as you can see, he is a fine-looking young man. And when I would look in those eyes, it would break my heart when he would cry or he would be upset that he didn't understand what I wanted him to do or what was expected of him. Well, it broke my heart that he did have to repeat second grade, but he did. But when he came back, After that first year that I had him, the principal told me, she said, "I'm just going to let you know, McKinley's going to be in your classroom." And I said, "Wait a minute." We went through a bad time last year, and she said, "Miss Huggins, you are going to be overwhelmed." I thought, let's see. Well, first day he walks in, all smiles. I didn't see very many smiles from McKinley the first year. The second year, he came in all smiles. He was on top of everything. If he didn't understand something, he raised his hand. He was quiet. Never 1 minute of trouble. Sometimes I'd say, "Is McKinley in the room? Where's McKinley?" Such a turnaround. Such a blessing for me to be able to see how he turned from one year to the next. Just deciding that he wanted to do it, working very hard to put strategies into place with his mom, his dad, his counselors, other teachers. He is now a third grader. He is doing well. He's very well behaved and handsome as all get out. I mean, look at this dude. So from Florosa Elementary School, it is my pleasure, along with Ms. Green, our assistant principal, Ms. Massey, our principal, to award McKinley Jones the Cox Inspirational Award.
Next, Damon Bryant, hero from Fort Walton Beach High School, will be presented by Colecia Brown.
Hello, everyone. My name is Colecia Brown, and I am so honored to present today our Cox Hero Award for Fort Walton Beach High School, Damon Bryant. There is so much that I can say about Damon, but I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. He is a character. He is one of the most loving young men that I have in my classroom. I think he purposely be the last one to come in my class because if I don't have a smile on my face, he makes sure I have a smile on my face. And normally I always do, but he makes it to where I'm like busting out laughing. He did go through a very hard tragedy this year, losing a stepfather, and he was actually the one that was performing CPR. I've never, ever seen him come in class without a smile on his face. And he missed a couple of days, so I knew something was going on. But when he came back, he still tried to have a smile on his face, but he was really, really down. So as a person I am, I love to have fun in my class. So I tried to crack jokes, and then he was like, Coach K, you're just not doing it. But then he turned around and come and cracked jokes on me. So I was like, yes, he's back. And then just talking to our principals and the guidance counselors, we all decided that he was one of the main people in our schools that made a turnaround academically, behaviorally, and everything since being at Fort Walton Beach High School. And we wanted to make sure that he got this award. So from Fort Walton Beach High School and Mr. Spolsky, which is our principal, we just wanted to say we love you and we're behind you, and you did a great job in Cox Hero for Fort Walton Beach High School.
Our next hero is Joseph Taylor of Kenwood Elementary School, and he will be accompanied by Jan Strahan.
It is my extreme pleasure to introduce Joey Taylor as the Kenwood Elementary Cox Hero 2017 award recipient. Joey Taylor is truly one of the strongest kids I have ever known. I say that, he's smiling. I say that because he is the only fifth grader to ever beat me at arm wrestling. You see, when I teach balanced and unbalanced forces, what better way to do it than to arm wrestle, right? One of your students. And he beat me. That wasn't supposed to happen. That was not planned, and I was shocked, and he was too. The whole class was shocked. So I've yet to get over it, but he has been working on redeeming himself, and that is why I'm holding this trophy right here. And this is the Kenwood Elementary Tug of War Championship Trophy for fifth grade. We won it on Monday. And I really think that we owe a lot of this to Joey because he is so strong. And we were able to pull it off for the first time. But Joey is not only, I'll let you hold that because I know you like to do that. Okay. But Joey is not only physically strong, like when he plays soccer or baseball, but more importantly, he is mentally strong. He has had his share of curveballs and red cards in this game that we call life. He's had obstacles to overcome, but thankfully he has had a support system, his family, and they are amazing. They truly are. These adversities have come his way, but he's had to use that mental strength to pick himself up, dust himself off, and get back into the game. And whether it's sports or academics, I have never, ever known a child that is more determined to excel. Writing an opinion essay or an informational essay is not his cup of tea, but he tries so hard, and every single day that he comes into the classroom, whether it's writing or math or science or social studies, he just tries and gives 110% in everything that he does. He truly does. He's an inspiration to his classmates. He is on safety patrol. He's an inspiration to all of his teachers. He was highly recommended. Everyone wanted Joey to win this. So he's an inspiration to me every single day that I come to school. And I know that he's going to go on to middle school, and I'm kind of sad that I'm not going to be there with him, actually. But his teachers are going to absolutely adore him because he is one amazing kid. And you deserve this award, Joey. Congratulations.
Presenting our next hero, Isaiah Bradshaw of Laurel Hill School, will be Carla Strickland.
Good afternoon. Isaiah is one of our most well-mannered, diligent, and family-oriented students at Laurel Hill. Although she does not like to draw attention to herself, she has many friends and a contagious smile, which she's going to show you. She's always encouraging others, and her kind and considerate ways make it easy to recognize her as an inspiration to all who know her. As a varsity athlete in both basketball and cross country, Isaiah knows firsthand that individual commitment and responsibility lead to collective success. She has always been known as a team player and gives her all in everything. She set personal fitness and academic goals for herself this past year and has remained unwavering and steadfast in pursuit of these goals. Although she's faced tremendous struggle, Isaiah has met all of the assessment requirements for graduation and is conquering her personal fitness goals one day at a time. Isaiah has been raised in a multi-generational home by her father and grandparents. She has struggled in academics, especially math, since elementary school. Being very shy and quiet, it was hard for Isaiah to advocate for herself and seek help in any area. However, as she has grown and matured over the past year, Isaiah has learned to set personal goals, seek help when needed, and be a source of strength to herself, as she's always been to others. Isaiah is a 17-year-old junior, and she can be found every day on the elementary side of our pre-K through 12 school. She works for 1 period a day in a second grade classroom as a high school aide. Her smile and willingness to help is an inspiration to the small group of struggling students that she works with every day. In addition to reading strategies and comprehension skills, she takes time to get to know these children, cheer them on, and inspire them to do great things. When asked about Isaiah's impact on these youngsters, one teacher commented that she will talk, listen, laugh, teach, and even tie their shoes. The kids just love her, and so do we. Congratulations, Isaiah.
Before we meet our next hero, I'd like to ask the rest of the heroes that have not been recognized, numbers 21 through 32, to go ahead and make your way to the left side of the room, please, with your presenter, number 21 through 32, or anybody that has not been recognized yet. Our next hero, though, is from Lewis School. Tamara Thorne and Lindsay Stevens are going to tell us about Stephen Paul.
Stephen is a first grader at Lewis School. He loves reading, drawing, Pokemon, and he has an infectious smile. Since beginning school last year, Stephen has overcome challenges related to his behavior, communication, and academics. and he's made tremendous progress. This year, he's maintained all A/B honor roll for the entire school year. We've had the pleasure, truly, of watching Steven blossom into a successful student and a successful friend. Steven's the type of child who inspires me and everyone at our school to be the best they can be every day. And it's truly been a blessing having gotten to be a part of his life this year. Congratulations, Steven.
Chantel Moore is Meg Middle School's hero, and Shiva McCraw will tell us why.
Good afternoon. I have had the pleasure watching Chantel Moore grow over the last 3 years at Meg's Middle School into a phenomenal young lady. She was voted by her classmates as best all around this year. Last year, she was voted as most humorous. Chantel persevered as an athlete, despite her struggles with asthma and even a recent injury. Not only is she a football player on Meg's Middle School football team, but she also placed first at the Okaloosa Weightlifting Championship with the highest total for female competitors. Chantel is trustworthy and passionate by showing enthusiasm for all facets of her life. She is a calming force for her friends and for us as staff. She has an infectious laugh that lights up a room. And Miss Moore has a crystal clear vision for her future through her words, actions, and beliefs. She is a perfect example of inspiration for all of us. Even through the recent injury, she always had a do not quit attitude, and she was always upbeat. We are most proud of Chantel for her dedication and involvement in not just academics, but as well as her athletic abilities. And she is a kind and thoughtful young lady. We are so proud of you. And I am absolutely blessed to give you this award. You are an absolute true hero.
Our next hero is John Paul Bucas of Niceville High School, and he will be presented by Charlie Morello.
Coming from a small village in the Philippines, John Paul used to travel half a day to get to school. He did not have adequate supplies nor comfortable school facilities, but this was all John Paul knew of education. Tragically, at the age of 15, while still living in the Philippines, John Paul lost both of his parents in an accident. Fortunately for John Paul, he was blessed and grateful to have two loving adoptive parents who braved a 3-year battle to bring both him and his sister over to the United States. So John Paul arrived in November of 2014. He spoke no English, and now he was faced with having to meet graduation requirements for the state of Florida. Well, I am thrilled to announce that with a recently attained concordance score of a 19 on the ACT, John Paul's greatest personal success and goal to graduate from Niceville High School will be realized on May 25th, and he is absolutely our Cox Student Hero Award. Congratulations, John Paul.
Our next hero is Emmy Tran of Plough Elementary School, and she will be presented by Carolyn McAllister.
It is a great, great honor to introduce to you Miss Emmy Tran. 2 words describe Emmy: drive and determination. She's adored by all of her teachers and respected by her fellow students. She's a role model to others in the classroom. She shows compassion on a daily basis when helping out a student who struggles with behavior problems. Emmy worked hard to exit from the ELL program. She turned failing grades into passing grades and now has A's and B's on her report card. She turned a level 1 DEA reading into a solid level 3. She is a bright light at our school, and we know she will keep shining in all that she does. Emmy will go far in life with her sweet personality, her perseverance, and her determination. I can honestly say that I am so proud of Emmy, and I thank her for being one of my students and being a Blue Panther. Congratulations, Emmy.
Our next hero is Andy Yanez from Pryor Middle School, and he will be introduced by Brooke Barron.
Good afternoon. This is Andy, and he is our Cox Hero Award winner from Pryor Middle School. Andy has a really unique story. He really inspires me and inspires lots of his schoolmates and teachers at Pryor. When he was 12, living in El Salvador, he decided that he wanted better for himself. So all alone, he left El Salvador at 12 years old and traveled to the United States. His mother was living here in the United States, and he was currently living with his grandparents in El Salvador. So before he left, he worked plantations and fields and things like that to earn money to be able to come to the United States. And then he took a month and a half and traveled all alone to get here. So when he arrived in Texas, he was taken into custody by immigration, and he was in a cell there for a while. And he waited for his mother. His mother was able to come and get him. One of the things that happened on his way when he was in South America, he was staying at a motel, and there was a massacre that occurred there, and he witnessed lots of death that day. So he had a lot to get over when he got here to the United States. And he came to Fort Walton Beach, and he enrolled at Pryor. He didn't know any English, no English at all. And he worked extremely hard to get to where he is today. Today he is in 8th grade. He is not only taking advanced classes at Pryor, but he's taking algebra for high school credit. He is our first chair playing the trumpet in Pryor's band, and he's looking really forward to being a style marcher at Choctaw and continuing on with that music. He has continued to grow and excel. He actually serves as a translator in many of our classes at Pryor. We have many non-speakers of English, and so he assists in all of his classes, translating for those other students who don't know English, and also encouraging them along the way. When you hear him speak, I wish he'd speak, but he says he doesn't want to. But his English is flawless. He just does a great job. He's very fluent. So I just want to congratulate Pryor's Cox Inspirational Hero, Andy Figueroa Yano.
Presenting our next hero, Autumn Sobel of Ruckle Middle School, is Paul Whidden.
Good afternoon. It is my extreme privilege to be able to introduce to you Ruckle Middle School Cox Inspirational Student Hero, Autumn Sobel. Autumn is a student that gets her job done, and she's an inspiration to the students around her of responsibility to do the job, even in the face of tragedy. Autumn has been living with her mother's battle with cancer since she's been in kindergarten. Since 4th grade, it had taken a turn for the worse, then got better, and she's dealt with that. This year, she lost her mother. Through all of that, she's maintained a 4.0 grade point average. She's missed very little school, and she's been an inspiration to her classmates about, in the face of adversity, it's my job to do my job. Another inspirational story about her, she's also a competitive gymnast, and her father was just telling me that when her mother was on the brink of death, she had a choice to go to a competitive gymnastics meet over in Louisiana, and to honor her mother, she chose to go with a goal of earning 2 nights. She earned 3. She had it videoed. Her mother was able to see that. So a young lady that does her job despite tragedy and is truly an inspiration to all of her teachers and fellow classmates at Ruckle. We're so proud of you, Autumn.
Now, Connor Terry, hero of Shalimar Elementary School, will be presented by Kim McSparron.
Hello, this is Connor Terry from Shalimar Elementary School, and he is a 5th grader with us. When I asked the teachers and his ESE teacher, his gen ed teacher, and Deputy Phillips to give me just a few words so I could put on my paper for today, it was like 6 pages, and I condensed it kind of to 1 page. So, Connor, this is kind of everything combined of how we feel about you, okay? Connor's ability to interact with others and academic deficits once impacted Connor's school and his home life. Connor has had to work harder probably than any other student that we have to achieve academic and social success. He spends countless hours, tireless hours with his parents at home every night going over information presented to school in order just to grasp the concepts. He's overcome social obstacles throughout his years at Shalimar and has worked up on our patrols from being the equipment manager to being our lieutenant. He's every morning he's there opening doors, good morning, how are you? He is self-reliant, he's dependable, and he's very attentive to his duties as lieutenant on our patrols. An example of this dedication was during an emergency lockdown this school year. During intake time, when students and parents were getting to school, he was able to keep younger students calm, and he efficiently aided in directing students and parents to designated secure areas. It has been our pleasure all of these years to have at Shalimar to watch Connor grow into the young man that he is today and into the fine example of all of this award holds it to. This is Connor Terry in 5th grade at Shalimar.
Cole Carr from Silver Sand School will be the next hero to join us. He's going to be introduced by John Williams and Mr. E.
Good afternoon. It's very appropriate that Cox Communications is honoring Cole today. I emphasize communication. Throughout my comments here, you must know that it's our focus at Silver Sand School is communication, much like close reading or everyday reading in most of our traditional schools. For Cole, learning to communicate has given him his dignity, and it's also given him the opportunity at a great life beyond Silver Sand School, where he's attended for many years, and it's definitely what makes him a hero. Cole's a 22-year-old man who will be graduating from Silver Sand School in Fort Walton Beach this year. He has a great attitude, and one of the nicest things about Cole is his attitude and personality, which makes him a pleasure to be around and to teach. He is a friend to everyone he meets, and he has a great sense of humor. Even through many struggles Cole has faced in the course of his education, he has always found a reason to laugh and has friends, which makes being around him a great joy. Cole has grown in many ways over the past few years. He has learned to communicate with an augmentative communication device. He has a positive attitude in confronting new challenges. He has matured in many ways and has learned to express his emotions in an appropriate manner. He is polite with both classmates and adults and is always willing to help those around him who might need some assistance. Cole has overcome many barriers over the years. He has learned to express himself through all range of emotions. He can take care of all his needs and has learned how to swim. He now loves swimming laps in our school pool. He has also learned how to ask for help when he is confronted with a problem that might be overwhelming for him or which he cannot solve on his own. Cole will be graduating this year, and I'm certain he will be a productive member of our community. And I want his teacher, Mr. E, just to say a few words about him, because we've had a lot of great success with Cole, especially with Mr. E and his teacher, Ms. Hahn.
Yeah, there's many things that we cannot measure in terms of tests, in terms of numbers, and there's many privileges we get as parents and as teachers, and I've had many with Cole, but to keep it brief, the most recent one was between lessons. We decided we'd walk a lap around the track, give our kids some exercise, wake them up a little bit, and Cole loves going with his best buddy. They like to go there and joke around, but he also noticed one of the smaller, younger girls in our class was down. So he left his buddy, he went over, took the girl's hand, and it was so cute just watching them walk around the track, him telling her it's going to be okay. And those are the type of things you can't measure. It's hard to share, but it's one of the privileges you get as a teacher, and it's been a privilege to be Cole's teacher this year.
Wave at everybody.
Our next hero is Damarian Williams of Walker Elementary School, and he will be presented by John Love.
It's my pleasure today to introduce Damarian from Walker. I moved to Walker about 2.5 years ago, and Damarian wasn't one that really was on my radar. He wasn't what I would consider a frequent flyer. But when Damarian he had things going on at home, things that I didn't know about and many of his teachers didn't know about. We'd hear about it third hand from other students. Damarian is a quiet student. He doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does talk, everyone seems to listen to him. Last year, he had some difficulties going on, and we went through a couple of different tutors. We'd get some peer tutors for him. And he had some incidents where the tutor actually asked me to come out because they were afraid that he was getting so angry. And I'd come out and I'd talk with him. And the first couple of times I talked to him, he basically expressed to me that I really don't understand what's going on at home. And I had to admit to him I don't. But I was there to help where I could. He made it through last year and seemed to quiet down and calm down. Things at home definitely had calmed down for him. He came back this year and he was a totally different child. He was confident in himself. He started putting forth effort in the classroom. His teachers, I hear every day how he's a leader in the classroom. When he's doing something or he's paying attention, other students are paying attention to him. I do have to say that he was a unanimous choice from Ms. Carnley, the principal, myself, the whole front office, all of 5th grade. He was a unanimous choice for the Cox Hero for us. He's made us proud, and we know he's going to continue to make us proud. He's going to Shoal River next year, and he wants to play basketball, and he wants to be on the track team. We're extremely proud of him, and we couldn't be happier that he receives this award.
Our final hero this evening is Yvonna Claiborne from Wright Elementary School, and Patsy Robinson will tell us why she is a hero.
It is an honor and a privilege to introduce Yvonna Claiborne as Wright Elementary's Cox Inspirational Student Hero. She's a beautiful young lady inside and out. She's an inspiration to her peers and to all of us with her courage. Yvonna has maintained all A's from kindergarten to a present grade 3rd. She runs track and won first place in a tournament in Tallahassee, recently won first place for dance in a talent show, and led our class to win first place in field day. She was diagnosed with aplastic anemia in 2015. Aplastic anemia is a rare condition in which the body stops producing enough new blood cells. In 2016, she was infused with a cord blood transplant. She is on multiple medications, taking 9 different medications daily. Yvonna is a successful student with a commitment to learn by showing up to her classes with required materials and being prepared to get the most out of her classes. She always displays a positive attitude toward learning, which exemplified in her homebound instruction. Yvonna did homebound instruction in Jacksonville for 3 months and the remainder of the semester in Okaloosa School District. When she was hospitalized, she always completed her schoolwork and turned it in on time. She started back to school in January, and she's doing great. She's always positive, and she never gives up. Yvonna still has a long journey ahead of her, but each day she gets stronger and healthier. We are very proud of our Cox Inspirational Student Hero, Yvonna Claiborne.
And let's give all of our heroes today another round of applause.